And we're live!
Stop. So we're gonna be like, hey guys, jazz hands, welcome to.
You have.
I have a really rad audience, thank you. Shake off the nerves, shake off the nerves. Hey guys, welcome back. I am so, I'm gonna laugh a lot. I am so pumped about this video. I'm going to laugh a lot, so sorry, not sorry. But I had a request from my friend Charlotte. Shout out to you, my girl. She was like, I want to see your whole coffee bar and I want like Philip to give us like some tutorials, and I would love that. And I was like, that's a great idea. So I twisted his arm and asked him if he would hop on a YouTube video with me. And so that's what we're doing today. We're gonna give you guys, and we set up the kids, FYI, in their playroom in a fort with a movie on. Like, we are doing everything within our power to like contain them over there so we can be over here. This whole quarantine life is crazy, but we're doing our best. So we're gonna give y'all like a little tour of the coffee bar, and he's going to make some coffee for us and give us his steps, some tips. And I'm gonna drink a lot of coffee. I think he's gonna drink some too. Guys,
I haven't had my coffee, so good morning at 4 p.m.
He has made the ultimate sacrifice for you guys and has not drank a sip, a drop of coffee, so that he can drink all of this right now, because we don't waste, right?
Nope.
We don't waste good coffee at all, especially meet our newborn baby. Our 5 pounds of Summer Moon wood fire roasted beans. We ain't gonna waste this, we're gonna drink it. And throughout this fun video, I have made these little homemade happy planner flashcards using some of Marielle's. Shout out to you, girl. Whimsy Lux is her new Etsy shop, or it's not new, she's been doing it. So she had it closed for a while, reopened it. I ordered some of her new beautiful stickers, and so I made these like DIY flashcards with all of the Q&As that I got on Instagram from you guys. I cannot believe how many questions we got. I mean, all kinds of questions for us, so it's really cool. So we're gonna take breaks in between Philip showing us all of our stuff and making different types of coffee. And we'll take breaks and do fun Q&As with you guys. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do on this YouTube video. And I'm wearing my Beast shirt in his honor because he's a beast in the kitchen.
I'm in it now.
Okay, are y'all ready?
Hooray!
No! Let's do this!
Yes!
That was so cheesy. Gonna see our real personalities in this video.
I'm not gonna be able to guess your cues. I don't know what your catchphrase is on YouTube.
He doesn't watch my YouTube videos, you guys.
I'm not a planner.
Shame. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna let him take it away now. So just like our bedroom slash my craft room, right? Slash my makeup room. I'm taking over the whole place. That is like my sanctuary. That's where I craft, where I create. This, welcome to our kitchen. This is
This is my what?
This is his sanctuary.
This is him. This
is his sanctuary. This is where he creates. Where he comes in here between our coffee bar right here and then cooking over here. We don't have like the biggest kitchen, but I think we're pretty blessed with like the size of kitchen that we have. No really big complaints here. So I'm gonna pan over our coffee bar. tell y'all about every item we have here, because just like us planners, we have to have good tools, right? In order to craft well. And so I think the same thing can be said for coffee, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so tell us what is on our coffee bar, Mr. Canant.
So we've got a lot going on here. You can't see how crowded it is. The first thing we're gonna do is AeroPress. Then
What is an AeroPress?
this is a handy contraption to make the best coffee that you can in the smallest package. If you've got to travel, take this with you. You can do this in a hotel room. You can do this while you're camping. You're gonna soak the coffee and then press it with the weight of your arm, so it's almost like an espresso shot with less pressure.
And he takes this when he travels. He takes the AeroPress with him.
Then we're gonna use a hand frother to make a latte using the coffee that comes out of the AeroPress.
And what do you froth in it?
You froth milk. Erica likes her oat milk, so you can do any different kind of milk. You can froth it up, and I haven't gotten to the latte art yet, but it tastes just as good. So. And then we have choose your own adventure for French press. Are you a regular person, you a little bit, or do you want a lot?
We got 3 of them, all 3 sizes, because we're crazy.
This is how you do it. When you have 1 kid, when you have 2 kids, when you have 3 kids. So.
Yup.
I make this every morning, and this is enough coffee for both Erica and I to start our crazy days.
Yeah.
So. Then the one that looks cool, it's a little bit of an adventure to make, the mocha pot. So this is like a stovetop espresso maker, and you get to see how that works.
And then we've got our grinder. Want to tell them about that?
So there's lots of different grinders out there. I'll let you all see a close-up of this when it comes around. But it's a conical burr grinder. The blade grinders that most people have chop up the beans, and it's pretty irregular for the size of coffee that you end up with. But a burr grinder is 2 sets of conical gears that crushes the beans, so it's a lot more uniform size and it tastes a lot better.
He's using all these crazy terms. He's an engineer, you guys, by the way. So we are totally 2 different kinds of people, but combined, with our powers combined, we make amazing coffee. When we combine and create a lot of other things, 3 of them are sitting over there.
You wanna go create, honey?
No! No more. There will be no Corona babies coming from this house, that's for sure.
Super done.
Super done. And then we have, let's talk about our last thing, which is, I did not know these things existed, but.
So this is only part of it, but it's bigger, which means you can make more, which is for cold brew coffee. So it's like jet fuel, it will keep you up. It is strong and concentrated and the best.
Yes, and we have some already made that we've been sipping on through the week in our fridge. But we put it in this like giant beaker almost.
It's like a science project. But
yeah. This amount of cold brew should last us another few days or longer.
That's probably 3 or 4 servings right there. It doesn't look like much, but it doesn't take much.
All right, so that is everything that we're gonna be working with. So,
Show me what you're working with.
So, oh my God. Worth it, let me work it. Like now, flip it and reverse it. It's working.
I don't know what your channel's rated.
I have to click that this is not for children. So, sorry. We didn't talk about a very important thing, our new baby. So talk about what kind of beans these are, where they're from, and why the kinds of beans you get make all the difference with how good your coffee will be or won't be.
Have to use fresh beans. They have to be freshly roasted within a couple days.
They're not ground.
They are a whole bean. To get the best coffee, you have to grind immediately before making it. I don't do any pre-ground. I'm gonna offend people. I don't do any K-cups. I don't do none of that. I don't do Folgers.
You will not find a Keurig in this house.
No.
No Folgers.
No drip coffee. No none of that. So we're gonna make it in good ways using fresh, good coffee, ground correctly, and it's gonna pay off.
And this is from Summer Moon, which I have the honor of doing a lot of their photography. They started out of Texas and they were kind of slowly moving all over the great state of Texas. So Summer Moon is our favorite coffee shop in the Austin area. We live near Austin, and the reason why we love Summer Moon is 2 reasons. They do their beans a whole different way that's not normally done, which is...
Normally, coffee roasters will use some kind of a furnace and a turnstile, and if you can imagine like a lottery style machine where they're rolling all the lottery balls, you're rolling the coffee beans so they don't get burned, and just in a furnace controlling the temperature. And this is old school over a wood fire. And so in Texas, we love our slow smoked barbecue. This is slow cooked coffee.
Yes.
So lower temperature, roasts longer, it's smoother, it's not acidic, it's not tart, it's nice and full flavor.
It's so smooth. We're all about like the smoothness of coffee, right?
And smoothness.
All right, so now you know everything we're working with, and Philip is going to... What do you want to make first?
I'm gonna start with the AeroPress, so you get to see the way that I make that, and that comes out in a small shot, like an espresso shot. So you can take it like it is. Yeah, you can take it like it is, or you can dilute it with water and make it an Americano, or you can add foamed milk and make it a latte. So that's what we're gonna do. A latte on the way.
Let's do it. What are you taking first?
So I've got the milk. Normally whole milk or the highest fat that you prefer. Skim milk doesn't froth very well, so we've got our 2% here.
Okay.
I've got our AeroPress, and it comes with a set of filters. So we'll use a paper filter.
Hold it up, show them how little and thin that little filter is.
So small that I can bite it. That's how you measure things, right? While I get this ready, I'm gonna get some water going in our kettle. So this is our electric kettle. We've got 2 kettles depending on what I'm making. This is for the small batch. We got another one for the big batch, but this is...
That's the other one right there. It's really cute, and I'm gonna link everything, you guys, on Amazon if y'all wanna get any of this.
So this is a nice pour over style coffee spout. Don't have a pour over, that's the next thing to get. That and a Chemex are next on the list of things to learn how to do. But once that warms up.
And this is really cool because you put it on there, and when it's done boiling, you're not gonna hear it. What it does is what?
It'll give you an indicator that it's done warming up, and then some of them have temperature settings. This one just goes straight to boiling. So it's gonna end up at 212 degrees, and you'll get a little click here and the light goes off that it tells you it's ready. So while that's going, I'm gonna get our milk ready. Pour it up to that line. I'm gonna get this in the microwave. Figure out what works best for you. This minute 20 is what we do. And I'm gonna get the coffee beans going. So we're getting our fresh beans. This is where we put them. For doing this single serving, I'm gonna do 3 scoops.
And what are you using to measure those 3 scoops?
This is a coffee scoop. I think it's about a tablespoon. If you're really particular, you can use a scale, but I'm not that particular. So with our grinder, once it's grinding, you can adjust the setting for how fine or coarse. Right now it's on a setting for French press, which is pretty coarse. So once it starts grinding, I'm gonna turn it so it comes out nice and fine for doing this style of brew.
All right, the beans are ground. So why do you do fine for AeroPress?
Fine is because it's got a paper filter, so it's very tight, and so it's gonna take out all the loose particles. And normally the finer you grind the coffee, the more flavor you're gonna get from it, as long as you don't brew too long. So this is nice and fine. It's gonna get out all the particles. You see.
That looks. Wow. Oh, it smells so good.
Get it all in there. This is the inverted way of doing this. There's a different way where you put it right on top of the coffee cup and put in your grounds and your water, but this way lets it extract a little bit longer. So our water is ready. And you see it blooming right away, releasing those gases. And agitate it, make sure everything soaks. While that's going, I'm gonna get our milk ready.
All right, so we did 1 minute and 20 seconds in the milk frother.
So this is our latte cup.
Traditional latte cup.
I'm gonna preheat it. And we're gonna froth this.
So you just plunge in and out.
That's what she said. Do this for about 30 seconds until you're nice and froth. Then you're gonna go ahead and plunge this coffee. Only reason I'm using 2 cups is this has to rest on top of the cup while you extract it. And a cup this big doesn't work as well, so you can see kind of how this fits. That fits nice. So we're gonna flip this over in one motion, go right into that cup, and then plunge it. And that is an AeroPress shot of coffee.
That's why they call it the AeroPress.
Now's your time to sweeten this if you want to. We'll add a scoop of sugar. And now we're gonna go 2 for 1. We're gonna dump out the hot water and fill it with the fresh coffee. So now we've got our fresh brewed coffee, we've got our foamed milk. Got ourselves a nice latte.
Nice. Good job, honey. So who gets to drink it?
You get to have the first sip.
Yeah.
Right into the camera. So this is what we're making next out of the mocha pot. This little made in Italy stovetop espresso maker. So to start with, this thing comes in 3 pieces. In the bottom, water chamber, then your basket for your grinds, and then the top, the brewing chamber, where all the water passes up. It steams and evaporates, goes through the basket, passes through the grounds, up through here, through the spout, and then collects in there. So pretty interesting way to make it. I find it kind of hard to get repeatable every time, but when you make a really good cup of coffee in there, there's nothing like it. So it takes practice.
How many scoops are you getting in there?
This one I think is about 5 or 6. You do enough coffee until the basket is full. So sometimes you just see how many scoops it'll take.
And for the mocha pot, how fine do you grind that? The same as the AeroPress?
This one will be kind of a medium grind, so
Okay.
between AeroPress and French press. So you see that's getting to be a little bigger. That's what you're after.
Awesome.
So we're gonna fill up this right below that relief button. So right about where that line is.
With water?
So we've got our water filled all the way up.
Okay.
Put in our basket. Now we're gonna put in our grinds.
And you're gonna fill it all the way to the top?
Yeah. You don't need to press it like you would, or tamp it like you would an actual espresso shot. So just loosely in the basket. Throw on the lid. And then off to the stove. So this is what it looks like when it's brewing. The water is boiled. I'm killing the heat right away. I've had this spoon here to prop it up so I can see when it starts overflowing right there. It starts collecting in the chamber. And now's about the time, if you're safe, you're gonna close this or else you're gonna have a mess. Because once it stops streaming brewed coffee. It's gonna pop and gurgle, and if you still have that open, that pop and gurgle goes everywhere. So I'm gonna have it ready and listen. As soon as it gurgles, take it off the burner and pour. There it is.
And he drinks his coffee pretty much black.
Yes.
Are you gonna put anything in there? No sugar?
Nothing for me. So I can enjoy some cream or some sugar, some milk, but I prefer all my coffee black.
Okay guys, good job honey. So I've got my latte, he's got his mocha
Mocha pot.
straight black, mine's the sweet one. This is good. All right, so while we are drinking the good coffee and not letting it go to waste, I have our questions here, and I wrote down the handles of who they came from too, from Instagram. So these are really, I mean, diverse questions. So this is gonna be fun. We're gonna get into some hot and heavy and then some fun, and let's just see how this goes. Okay, so from @LPTJ Creates on Instagram, she asks, what's your best relationship advice?
Make your spouse, your partner, your significant other, your best friend.
Best friends, yes, that's perfect. We became best friends first and lovers second. Marry your best friend.
Being lovers
Yes,
with you.
marry your best friend. That's perfect.
There's lots of other details, but
Well, that's the next question.
oversimplify.
That's the next question. From Plan with Jan, she asked, when did you guys meet? So we became friends first and we met in college. I was going to be a senior. He was
Junior?
a junior. And we met in Campus Crusade for Christ, which was like a Christian organization for students on campus. And we went to UTSA, go Roadrunners. And that's where we met. And for me, it was like a love at first sight kind of moment. For him, it was more of, what, you say it.
I want to hear your take on it.
It was like, ooh, this girl is fine, but I need to take my time.
Pretty much. You're fine enough. I had to regroup and gather myself and become a man and go and get her. So
He had to become a man for me. I turned a boy into a man, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna stop there. I had my eye on him, you guys, since the day I met him. So I like to think I won because I got the man. I got my man. Okay. Lauren Murphy, my sweet girl, she said, come see us. Lauren and Ben have been longtime friends and they live in North Dakota now, so.
it's too cold.
I wanna go.
When it's not gonna freeze me to death, we'll go.
I wanna go when it will freeze me to death. See, we're different in that. Okay, so @Sin or Chin Chin asked, what is different after being married?
Friends. Friends treat you different.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I was like, what are you saying? Man, it's like when we got married, most of our friends were like, bye. That was weird. It was weird navigating friendships after we got married. But I say now, like, we have the friends that we need to have around us. Once you become married, you need married friends mostly. Anyways, so.
Yeah.
The other thing that's different after we got married, I mean, when you get married, and if you do it the way we did, which, you know, we didn't live together beforehand or anything, when you move in with somebody else, I mean, he went from living at his parents' house to marrying me, moving in with me. I was living by myself in a 1-bedroom apartment. So I love living by myself. And he was at his parents, so I know for him, he was like, yes!
I tried to turn her place into a bachelor pad.
Because he never got to like, experience that. But yeah.
It's a beautiful thing getting to make your own decisions together on your own, and the world has this stigma of, oh, you never know who they are until you get married. Well, of course there's gonna be surprises when you make that commitment in a marriage. There's gonna be things you don't learn about each other until you're there. But the most beautiful thing about it is that you get to find a way forward through any difficulties, and you get to learn more about each other, and it's a big opportunity.
Yeah.
So.
And just like your whole life, I mean, we talked about seasons before on my channel. We're constantly growing. We're constantly growing. Two human beings who change. I've changed a lot. He's changed a lot. And so it's like we get to keep figuring out one another, keep learning one another, and learning ways to love one another and take care of one another. I don't think there's ever like a dull season here. I mean, so he puts up a lot being married to me.
It's worth it.
Okay, let's see. We'll do a few more questions and then we'll make some more coffee. But at Planner Mama D said, or asked, do you two do Bible study together?
We do, and it looks like a lot of different things.
When you got 3 kids under the age of 7, a lot of things look different.
Yeah. So, like most conversations these days, it just takes place when there's time, and better said, when you make time. And so when either one of us are reading something that we think speaks to the other, or speaks to our family, or is something important that could shape our direction together, we talk about it at the beginning of the day, end of the day, middle of the day, whenever.
Or like right before we started filming, right? I came up to you and I had just had some quiet time in my office, and I came out here and I was like, babe, I gotta tell you what I just read in the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. And then he was so sweet. He listened to me and he was just like, that's amazing. And then he was like, let me pray with you. And he grabbed my hands and prayed. Yeah. It was sweet. I think when we first got married, we were very intentional when we were dating, engaged, and as newlyweds. We did Bible studies together. Now that we have children and he works, our work schedules are so different. We both are in totally 2 different fields. And then we have 3 small children. So it's basically we share with each other what we're learning, and then we have time every night with our kids. When we're tucking them in, we read a scripture and a Bible prayer with them, and we pray together as a family. That is an every night thing. That's like non-negotiable for us. And then we are also both doing She Reads Truth. I do She Reads Truth and he does He Reads Truth. So they sent us those lens studies. So I have my study, he has his. So we at least know that each other, we're reading kind of similar passages and stuff. So we'll talk about stuff we're reading and stuff. But.
And then weekend breakfast.
Yes.
That's our best time to start the day together as a family. On the weekends when there's more time and people are not trying to run to school and work and everything else.
Yeah.
And so while we're eating, we always take a few minutes and just talk about a passage.
Yeah.
So.
Which, if you've been following me for a long time, you know our lives look completely different now than they did just a year and a half ago. I was working full-time at a church, and when I say full-time, I mean I was basically sleeping there. While I don't regret everything I learned from that season of life, it took a toll on our marriage and our family. I missed a couple years, I feel like, of our kids growing up, and it was hard on us. It's really ironic. I was working at a church and he was volunteering as much as he could. We're always there, yet our marriage was suffering because we weren't spending time. We were never in service together, never in Bible studies together. And we were leading a small group, but it was all because it was so almost religious and we have to do these things. And now that we're no longer a part of that church and I've stopped and I work for myself now, and man, we're so much more healthier. Our marriage we're finally working on things in our marriage that we should have been working on. I'm working on a lot. My mental health, y'all know that. He's been so supportive. We're literally, before this, hello, if I was still working for them right now, things would be scary, but we wouldn't be able to do what we did even today. We woke up and on Saturday mornings, like he said, we have breakfast together with our kids. He busts out a Bible passage for us and we talk about it. Right before this, we were talking about what I was reading, prayed together. We never had moments like that during that season. So it just always looks different in different seasons for us. But we have learned from that, and what we've learned is make time. Make time, and if something is keeping you away, even church, guys, church can become very unhealthy and toxic if it is keeping you from your very first ministry, which is your spouse and your children, your family. So definitely remove yourself from anything like that, whether that's your job, church, anything social, anything, a hobby. If it's keeping you from pouring into yourself, each other, and your kids, we really encourage you to just pray and think about taking a step back from that and working on what's most important. So,
and find what happens natural, find what works. Never be too rigid, because we decided we did not want to be the parents who are having Bible studies with their kids every night and yelling at them so they stop fighting and so they can listen. That's who gets anything out of that except kids getting scared of the Bible. And so
exactly.
You be flexible, find what works, and you will have to try 3 or 4 or 5 different things till you find what works, and go with that.
Through this, I think it's a question, so I'll wait. But all right, next one. Any wedding advice from Mandy Overstreet? She actually gave us 3 questions, so that's her first one. She is newly engaged, and I totally did her blue bonnet session last year. Was it? Golly, wow. So she's newly engaged. Any wedding advice? What would you say?
Marry somebody who's a wedding planner.
Well, she's a planner, so.
You did good.
Let's see. I think the best wedding advice I received and we walked through, or we carried through, was this is our day. This is your day. Don't cater to what anybody else wants, not even your mom and dad. I mean, even if they're paying for it, have a healthy conversation with anyone involved saying, this is our day, and this is how we want it to go. So it's actually the one event where you can be selfish, in a healthy way. But we knew what we wanted it to be like, and it was perfect.
Yeah. The wedding day, there's lots of thought that's going to go into it. It's going to come out right, have the right attitude, but the best if you can prep before that and talk out things with your spouse, things about who they are, what to expect. The more that you can plan that or do some couples counseling before, any of that to me is the most valuable prep. And
for sure,
me being the hands-off, not worrying kind of person, I'm like, the day is going to work itself out. But
that's him. I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, whoa! Yeah, and I was not a bridezilla, but I was like a plannerzilla, I guess you could say.
You were the wedding planner and the bride.
I was the wedding planner and the bride. Did my own hair and makeup. I did everything. So, and then like you said, counseling. Invest more time in your marriage spiritually than all of the other plans. I mean, honestly, I used to work for a marriage counseling nonprofit, and I loved the saying that they had, the divorce should happen before the wedding, right? So you should know yes or no to this guy, right? Before. So just spend time spiritually investing in your relationship way more than everything else, because that's number one. I mean, fast forward, we're going to be married 10 years in February. That is the number one thing in our marriage. If it wasn't for our faith and having a strong spiritual foundation, it would be there might be no Philip and Erica. Let me tell you.
All those touchy subjects, get them out of the way beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where y'all gonna live? How often are you gonna see each family? Kids, money, old relationships. Who's that old number calling you? Well, you already know, so.
And all that happens through the counseling. All that stuff came out through our wedding counseling. She also says, why are you both so amazing? That's why. Just kidding. Sorry. Oh my gosh, girl. I mean, if this video is showing you anything, we're just a couple of goofballs. Also, I like this question. We'll end it with this question, and then we'll make some more coffee because I just finished mine. If you could pick any superpower, what would you choose?
The power to not have to sleep.
What?
We're parents. I could get so much more done if I didn't have to sleep.
You don't want to sleep?
I don't need to go fly. I just want to go machine something in the garage.
I love sleep way too much. That's not an option. Wow, I didn't know that. See, we're even learning about stuff about each other right now.
Get a lot of stuff done.
I remember hearing one person who's like all into fitness and stuff say, man, if I could just not eat. My mom, she's not even into fitness, but she said, if I could just no, that's not a burn. I'm sorry, Mom. My mom has actually been working out during this quarantine. I'm very proud of her. She said if I could just take a pill every day and that would be my nutrition for the day, my food. If I didn't have to eat or cook, I'm like,
screw that. I want to
see,
eat.
that's how I feel about sleep. Food and sleep. Who's with me? Whose team no sleep? If I didn't have to sleep, yeah, that'd be better. Whose team? Give me the sleep. Give me that snooze. Of course, I stay up till, if I could like stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning every night and sleep till like 11 a.m., that'd be my ideal schedule because I'm such a creative night owl. So is he. Okay, my superpower? Teleportation. Teleportation. If I could just snap my fingers and be in Italy right now, or snap, I mean obviously the pandemic, but honestly, if I could grab my children's hand and snap and like drop Enzo off at school, snap back home, I would love to just be able to teleport. I need to go, oh gosh, I need to go pick this thing up at Target. Okay, here I am, snap back home. I honestly.
Can get you a faster car.
No, teleportation, because I mean, especially I spend like 2.5 hours in the car every day, pre-pandemic, with like dropping kids off at school and picking them up, and yeah, I would get more time back that way if I could teleport places, and then I could go and visit and travel to all these other places, and that would be really cool. If we could just teleport to like our dream vacation.
That'd be cool.
Hey, let's go teleport to Cabo right now. Oh, lay on the beach.
Let's tuck the kids in and we're going to Cabo. Kids, stay asleep.
Parents, we could do that. So we can turn on their camera. Snap, go to Cabo. Oh, baby's waking up. Right, snap back. Come on, my superpower is really cool. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I think I win. I was kidding. All right, let's make some. What are we gonna make next?
Next is French press.
Yes, that's my favorite. French press is my favorite for sure.
So this is the daily. This is what we've been making every day for our coffee to start the day for, I can't remember when we were doing anything else. If you got people coming over, it's nice to have a big one. Whenever we make coffee like this in batches, if it's not going to be drank right away, the best way to keep it warm is get yourself a carafe. One of these insulated dispensers, or whatever you want to call it. This one I've been preheating. Whenever I put hot coffee in there, I preheat it either with boiling water or really hot steaming tap water to kind of warm up.
It'll keep the coffee warmer in there, right?
Yes. So without doing that, like this one can keep coffee warm for about an hour. If I preheat it, about 2 hours. So depending how much coffee I'm making, I got a restaurant style one. So
we have a big daddy.
If you go to Panera Bread or something like that, you're gonna see one of these. So I got one of these at home. That's how much coffee we go through.
Yep.
So.
And you preheat that one too with boiling water?
I preheat that one too. And that one, just glass lined, thermal insulated, nice giant carafe. And this is the fancy kind, you just getting your coffee in there.
Yep.
So with this, I'm gonna get the beans going. Before I start prepping all that, I'll actually get the water going.
And for this, for French press, we use our bigger tea kettle over here.
Get the burner warming.
What'd you get? Kids came out for snacks. What'd you get? Cheetos. They require sustenance. What are you getting? What are you getting, Ellie Belly? Cookies. We have a whole snack stash out here. Water, paper towels. The pantry is stuffed. What are you gonna pick, Enzo? Let me see your cool face. Come here. Look at me.
It's right here.
It's right. Little mama kisses. I love you.
So we got the water warming up. You can hear it on the stovetop getting ready. While we do that, we're gonna get our beans ready. Depends how strong you like it, what size you're using. For this, I know 6 scoops will get us a cup of coffee as strong as we like it.
For 2 people, right?
For 2 people. So I've got 1 scoop still in the bottom, so. No bean left behind.
No bean left behind. Get it. All right.
So if you want a cool shot, look at the top of that while we grind. So there's a lot of ways to get French press wrong, and if you've never made French press at home, no matter how badly you mess it up the first time, it's going to be the best cup of coffee you've ever made at home. But when you make it every day, you learn what makes it better or worse. So fine grinds will make it a very chalky cup of coffee. You'll have lots of grounds that get to the cup. So coarse grinds, you can see about what that looks like. That's the biggest grind we've used so far.
That way none of it gets through, none of it gets in your coffee.
Yeah, because this uses a steel strainer, and you can see there's some pretty large openings in there. So you want large grounds so that this can actually capture everything and remove it from the cup. So I think the best temperature for doing French press is between 195 and 205. It depends if you're doing light roast or dark roast. Kind of the darker the bean, the less hot you need it. Otherwise it'll taste a little bitter. And right now, this tea kettle will whistle when it's boiling. And so I take it off the heat before it whistles, so it's less than 212 or boiling. And
Nice and slow.
pour it all the way in. And the timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
And a stir once to agitate. And I'll come back to it in a minute. So midway while it's brewing with the French press, something I like to do is stir it again. You can see after the coffee blooms, the fresher it is, the more foam it's gonna get. And the more, it almost looks like some of the grounds swell up and come out of the hot water. So I kind of stir again to resubmerge some of that. And see, it's nice and foamy again. You don't see any grounds that have kind of come out of the water, and it'll release gas the whole time it's brewing, but that way it's nice and clean.
3, 2, 1.
It's French press time.
Get your lid, your strainer. The easy way to get this wrong is to put it on and just slam it. So you want this to take like 30 seconds to plunge, going as slow as you can, so that when you're capturing the grinds down there, you're not going so fast that any of them escape along the sides, or you shove it through the mesh strainer and you get more coffee grounds in your cup.
So listen to Usher. Take it nice and slow.
Erica thinks of Usher when she's brewing her coffee. I think of coffee when I'm brewing the coffee.
Nice and slow. Okay.
Kids on the way.
Okay.
I fell down on the floor.
Okay. All right, it's ready.
Once it's ready, straight into the cup, or for us, straight into the carafe. Get fancy with it. If you don't have one of these, I mean, you can keep it in here for a little bit, but as long as it's still in the French press, it's still in contact with the grounds, and it can change the taste if it stays in there for too long. So
we put it in there immediately. All right. We're gonna pour some coffee and do some more Q&A.
Pick a proper cup.
Go Cowboys.
Chock full of love, one. Grace upon grace, because we need some grace right now, man. Okay. He's drinking it black. I like to put a little bit of sugar. Vanilla oat milk creamer. That's it. You know those like little graphics of like what color coffee is? I'm probably like a caramel color. Yeah. My mom is like white.
Like milk.
My mom says she drinks coffee with her creamer, and that is accurate. Goodness.
Yeah, do you good?
French press is my favorite, hands down. Okay, this is hilarious. We're doing coffee right now. But my girl Natasha at La Casa de Natasha asks, how does Philip make his margaritas?
The most important thing is fresh limes.
Yeah, fresh limes. We don't have all the items right now. Maybe I can twist his arm again to do a margarita tutorial next. So we're in the coffee bar, next time we can be in the bar. But take us through how you make them.
I'd say most important thing, because I assume you're already getting good tequila.
If not, which tequila?
I like Hornitos.
It's right behind us.
I'm not a tequila connoisseur, but I like some good silver tequila.
Yeah.
Get yourself a 5-pound bag of limes and just squeeze them and strain them.
He hand squeezes them, and uses our little like
Little juicer
and squeezes them.
And make yourself some simple syrup. Get some triple sec.
How do you make the simple syrup?
So 1 part sugar to 1 part water. So a cup of sugar, a cup of water, boil it up till it all dissolves, let it cool down, and there you go.
I think we have some of that. This is our simple syrup, and we use natural sugar, so it looks kind of brown. But we still have some lime juice. So he squeezes it and puts it in one of these.
Yeah.
And he makes a big batch, we put it in the fridge. So we can have some margaritas all throughout the week, baby.
Yeah. Cut a lime wedge, rub it around the rim, dip your glass in salt, ice, then 2 parts tequila, 1 part simple syrup, 1 part triple sec, 1 part lime juice, and you're done.
How many shots of tequila do we usually put per margarita?
2 per margarita.
Yeah. And that's how we have a good time in Casa de Canant. So, La Casa de Natasha, there you go. Okay, from WPC 9722019. Interesting handle. What is your favorite book you have read?
I'll defer to you. You get 2 picks.
He's not a big reader. You gonna be holy and say the Bible?
It's the default answer. I don't have a book that I've gone out and read on purpose in a while. Can't remember.
Hey guys, hold on. Here come the kids. What do you need?
I want some chocolate.
Okay, let me get him some chocolate milk. Go away. Go read some books, because we're talking about books. Go away. Name that movie. What's your favorite book? Go ahead. Tell him.
I have no idea.
He has no favorite book. But he can tell you his favorite tool, his favorite movie, his favorite coffee, all these other things. Okay. This is hard for me, you know this. Just like
You bought how many books during the quarantine? Like
6
30?
books or so. No. I'm currently reading 3 different books right now. I'm an English major, so goes without saying, but
I do the numbers, she does the words.
yeah. So, okay, this might spark some controversy on my YouTube channel. But my favorite books plural, trilogy. Oh, you would think I would say Harry Potter. That's not a trilogy, but sorry guys, The Lord of the Rings. Those definitely some of my all-time favorite books. All-time favorite books. Including The Hobbit, so 4, I mean, technically.
You could set that book series in front of me now, and I would not finish it before I died.
He hates the movie. I'm like, that's where I made the mistake of why did I ask you this before I married you? I want to do Lord of the Ring marathons all the time. And he's like, no.
Sure, go ahead.
Same thing with Harry Potter. Guys, he won't watch Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings with me. But I'll sit and watch Formula One with you.
I don't ask you to, that's on you.
And then it's pretty funny. It's basically the two different kinds of like sides of me. Lord of the Rings and then Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen would be my other favorite book. Right now though, I'm reading Little Women and watching the newest movie. You guys might be right there neck and neck with Pride and Prejudice for me. So good. This is from Oh Really, Alana. What's your favorite thing to do for date nights?
Well,
Speaking of date nights.
being in a situation with 3 kids and no babysitters, you get creative, and it means tuck the kids in early and date night after they're in bed, which means takeout, which everybody's doing now. But
We were doing this before though.
Yeah.
Before quarantine, before pandemic.
Go get the kids in bed between 7 and 8. You got yourself a couple hours of, date night. You get yourself a movie. Go rent something.
Yeah. It's 5:30 right now. We're almost done filming this. We're gonna feed the kids real quick here at home. Just warm them up some chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, whatever. Slice up an apple. We're gonna feed them early, get them down early. And then he's gonna go pick up some takeout for us. And we'll stream a movie, Netflix, and chill on the couch. He'll make some margs. I'll probably have a Coke and rum tonight. And we
You
just...
said the magic words.
What?
Netflix and chill.
And that's what we do. We were doing that before the quarantine and now, because before our lives, I think I posted this on Instagram, but I feel like our lives before right now were like prepping us for this season, because we were already having to be so creative with things because both of our work schedules are crazy and we have 3 little children. And he had traveled a lot before. So our time together is limited and we don't have that much help here. Both my parents work full time, so we don't really have any sitters here. We can't afford full-time childcare. We don't want to pay a sitter right now. Hopefully we can get to a better place where we can do that more. But my aunt, my tia Rosa, actually gave me that idea. She said, because they had a lot of kids too, she said they used to tuck them in early and they would order takeout and have a date night on the couch. And that's become kind of one of our favorite things, I feel like. So we've done it a handful of times now, every week since we've been quarantined at home, for sure. That's Ellie.
She's a crazy
one. This is
one.
our middle one. How are y'all doing during this quarantine?
Alive?
Lots and lots of coffee and booze. That's for sure.
Specs is an essential business. It's open.
And here in Texas, God bless our governor, Greg Abbott. Love you, Greg. We can now order alcohol takeout from restaurants. So we're gonna take out from a place tonight, local. We could order some margs and they'll give you a little margarita kit to go. It's so cool. So that's how we're doing, you guys. Yeah. That's how we're doing. He's an essential worker, so he works for the railroad industry, and so that's super essential right now. So he's been having to go to work still through the week, which has been hard on all of us. But
You work, I work, we take turns and we keep the kids alive. And
yeah. Which kind of feeds into this next question. So that was from the Latina Planner, my girl Leslie. The next question is from Amber Plans Her Day. How does the Enneagram play into your marriage? So, I mean, especially right now, quarantine. I mean, if we didn't know each other's Enneagram number and love language, the 5 love languages by...
I know a book thing. It's
By
Gary
who?
Gary
Chapman. That was the first study we did. We did the engaged study, one of his dating or engaged studies, and then we did the 5 love languages right when we got married. If we didn't know each other's 5 love languages and now like each other's Enneagram numbers, I think things would be way more complicated for us. Yeah. He is a 5. I forgot what his wing is. 5, wing 7 maybe.
Don't remember what they all represent.
But he's the number 5,
describe.
which is the thinker. He's more introverted. His love languages are physical touch and words of affirmation. And then I'm a 2, wing 3. So I'm basically, which I've talked about a ton with you guys, I am the helper and I'm the achiever. So I love to help people while crushing my own goals. So that's kind of why I experience burnout a whole lot, because I help people while still crushing my goals. And in the end, that just ends up crushing me. So we have to work. He literally completes me and I complete him, because he's more of the like Ron Swanson in the marriage, where he's like, screw everybody, stop helping. I mean, he doesn't say screw everybody, but he's like.
He had some quote in the series, he's like, you teach a man to fish and he can feed himself. Or don't teach him to fish. Fishing's not that hard.
That's him. We're definitely like, yeah, we complete each. And at the same time, I get him out of his bubble, right? I get him to kind of be more social, to be more caring and thoughtful. And he helps me to be a little less caring and thoughtful, because I can do it to my detriment, right? And then he doesn't do it at all. So together, perfect little.
Between the two of us, we make one fully balanced person.
Which is the last question, ironically, from @cpenny 2012. How do you balance faith, kids, work, one-on-one time, especially now? There is no such thing as balance.
The best that I've found is just do it all at once. And juggling things, you always just try to make sure that you're getting to everything regularly and not having that crisis of what's the most urgent, well, what's broken, go fix that. Just try to give regular time to every area.
We really realized there's no such thing as like there's no way to perfectly balance all of those things. It's impossible. So it's more about prioritizing. And he talked about juggling, but if you're juggling too many things like that, you're gonna drop something. So we are intentional about what we drop. There's gonna be seasons where if we're more busy, hey, you know, that takeout life, we ain't really cooking a lot. Or for him, cooking's become very like therapeutic. That's like his version of planning, where planning is very honestly. Oh my gosh, okay, cut. There's no such thing as balance, but there's like this, you try to achieve that balance. So in trying to achieve that, it's just prioritizing. So right now, during this crazy season that we're in, our health and safety is number 1. So we have been home for almost 5 weeks now, because he was quarantined immediately after his last work trip. And so I have been kind of wiping down the house more. So I'm like, you know what? All my photo shoots and video shoots got canceled. My small business kind of took a little dive. So with that extra time I have, which I really don't because I have the kids here, but I put them to work. We've been cleaning a little bit more. Before that, cleaning wasn't a priority for us. But now with the change, I'm like, okay, let's disinfect some stuff. Make sure things are decent here. And then he's got to still work. And then I'm doing just a little bit. And then I think after that, our priority is each other, for sure. Each other. So kind of the health and safety about ourselves and our family, and then each other. So we're gonna have date night tonight. We've been spending more time together. He makes sure I get my alone time. So I already went and had some alone time in the office today. This morning, I told him, go to the room, I've got the kids, go have some time with Jesus, and he went. And then after that's our kids. So that's kind of when we first got married, before we even had kids, we had that conversation of, you invite kids into the marriage. They don't become what you revolve around. So we prioritize each other even over our kids.
The kids know that mommy and daddy come first, and that if we've got to do something and take care of each other, they've got to wait, or just that we're spending time investing in each other.
Yeah. So even in filming this right now, we're like, hey, we set y'all up in the playroom. Here's some snacks. Here's a movie. Here's a fork. Y'all have all the toys in the world. Leave mommy and daddy alone. Let us do some work. Let us spend some time together. Because even this is spending time together. I mean, I learned some new things about you right now. So that's kind of how we try to achieve the balance. I just don't think balance is ever achievable as long as on this side of heaven. I really just don't think so. Jesus is the ultimate example of that, honestly, you guys. Jesus lived a life of prioritizing. There would be seasons of Jesus's life where ministry was his priority, and he spent just countless days and hours ministering to people and healing people. And I feel like we went through that. We were in ministry for almost 10 years. We helped plant a church. We helped plant and start the whole Dream Center in San Antonio. We were constantly throwing outreach. I was the outreach coordinator in college in our group. Like I was, we were leading countless small groups. Then I was on staff at a big church here. Okay. Philip's gonna take him potty while I finish this thought. And then we just experienced kind of, I wouldn't even call it burnout. I would just more so call it, whoa, our marriage is starting to suffer, so we need to prioritize that now and step away from ministry. So Jesus was a perfect example of that, where he would spend days and hours with people, ministering to them, healing them, being with them, and then he would get away. You would see Jesus retreat a lot. I think we're on, when he gets back, I'll let him talk about it, but we're in the season of retreating and just and praying. Like when Jesus would retreat to the garden, the Gethsemane, I mean, it's Easter tomorrow. Tomorrow's Easter Sunday, so super special time right now. We've been talking to the kids a lot about, yesterday we talked to them all about Good Friday and unpacked that for them and explained it to them. And so we are in that season of Jesus would retreat and go into the garden and pray and be away from everybody, right? He did that so many times throughout his ministry time here on earth. And it's pretty cool because Jesus was in his 30s, we're in our 30s. And so we feel like we've done like almost 10 years of that. Now we needed to focus on our marriage, and our children are so young. We've gotten counsel from all of our old mentors from college, and they told us, hey, look, your children are only this young, just this one time. They need to be your ministry first and foremost. And when they're older, you're gonna be able to do more things, and it's so true. So if you're parents of littles, like just focus on your marriage, on your faith in your marriage, your faith with your kids. They're only this little one. We get one shot, you guys. And so that's kind of where we're at with that. And then I'm gonna let Philip get back after taking Enzo potty. Hey, that is one huge feat that we conquered during this quarantine. Enzo is now
Potty trained.
Potty trained! Oh my gosh. We have no kids in diapers now. That is something to celebrate. That's something to cheers to right there, babe. Yep.
Cheers.
Yep. So I just got through telling them that Jesus is the ultimate example of prioritizing things, where he would spend all this time in ministry just like we did. Then he would retreat, and I feel like we're in this retreating season. So Jesus would retreat and take care of himself and spend time with the Father. Spend time with his Father, and that's what we're doing right now.
I love that Jesus was unapologetic about his priorities.
Yeah.
Because he had a mission to do what God wanted him to do.
Yeah.
And even when his own disciples weren't too convinced of the mission, he wasn't afraid to tell them, do you want to leave too? Because he had a mission.
Yeah.
And we can't be apologetic about who's going to slow us down or not be on board.
And we've gone through that. We've had people we were really close to, who were concerned about us pulling away, concerned about us taking this time. And we have to unapologetically do what is best for our marriage and for our family. And I mean, this is the healthiest we've been in a long time. And I'm getting to work on a lot more things that I think would have spiraled way out of control if we would have kept going at the pace we were.
Yeah.
So take this time, you guys. I mean, I would say, we've said this before, God is literally slowing down our world right now. He is literally, everything's at a stop. It's like time is standing still. And I think God is just really saying, stop, pause, and focus on what's important. And when this is all over, how do you want your life to look? Do you want to go back to the busyness and the craziness that was before this? I know we don't.
No.
we were already starting to live more intentionally. It's like I told them, you'll never get these years back in your marriage and then with your kids. They're this little, you get one shot. And they're our #1 ministry right now. We're molding these little minds. So balance, although not really obtainable on this side of heaven, you can prioritize things. And I think this pandemic can help teach us all a good bit about prioritizing. Yeah. I think Philip's gonna teach us how to make one more thing. He's not gonna do it because we don't wanna waste beans and we already have cold brew in there, but he's gonna show us our cold brew maker and tell us the steps. Y'all ready? Let's do it.
So there's lots of different ways to do this to make some cold brew. It's a great alternative if you like some iced coffee. There's ways to make iced coffee that work well, but this is my favorite way. OXO, they've got a cold brew brewer here. They're just putting a lot of coffee grounds and a lot of...
About how much coffee do you put in there?
It's less than a pound, but most of what we use in a week, we put in this in one shot and fill it up with water, and it makes a concentrate. You just hit that and it plunges into a cup below. So I put in room temperature water and let it brew for 24 hours and then drain it.
So a whole day it'll sit in there.
Yeah.
And you don't tap that to drain it till after a full day.
Right. And once it drains, it comes out with a concentrate that you can use to dilute and make a full glass of average strength coffee, or you can have it strong and dilute it with a little bit of milk or anything else. Some people actually warm it up in the microwave, and it has a pretty cool taste for hot coffee that was cold brewed. So there's lots of different things you can do with it. If you don't have one of these, you can just get a mason jar or get some kind of container, and you can just play around with different ratios of how much grounds you put in, how much water. Some people do it on the counter in 24 hours. Some people throw it in the fridge for 12 hours. There's a lot of experimentation. So I have a batch that I made last weekend. So we've been chugging away for about a week. It started up to there. And I'll show you how much you use for a serving. So that right there is 1 cup of coffee. That's how concentrated it is. Throw some milk in there.
That'll wake you up. Oh, look how pretty that looks. This will wake you up, guys.
And then if you want to sweeten it, throw some simple syrup in there.
Yes, we prefer simple syrup.
Nothing else will dissolve when it's cold like that.
And cold brew is my favorite next to French press. And through the summer, we will have cold brew a whole lot.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we had a blast. This was actually really fun. So I hope I can convince him to do more of these with me. I mean, I had fun with you.
I had fun.
Yeah? Yeah! And I want to do more stuff like this after we're even free to be out and about. It's so special being home and just spending time with one another. So, and
absolutely.
I think there's no better time spent than over good food or a good cup of coffee.
What's your tagline? Like, subscribe, hit the comments.
No,
Little child wants some attention.
You say it. You tell them.
Wait, what? What do I tell them? Be sure to like it and subscribe. Well.
Gosh. All right, you guys, stay safe and healthy. We love y'all. Until next time.
Don't
Cheers.
get the virus.
Don't get the virus.
Don't get the virus.
We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.